Ohio news and weather. We have a tornado warning just issued for parts of Portage and Mahoning County here this afternoon. And bear with me just a moment and I will get everything pulled up too. Just waiting on, there we go, getting some things updated real fast here too at the same time. Okay. Yes, there we are. Perfect. Okay, so we have a tornado warning in effect, and I am going to monitor the chat the best I can here. This is going to be for southeastern Portage County, northwestern Mahoning County until 2 p.m. This is radar indicated rotation, generally 8 miles southwest of Newton Falls, moving east at 15 miles per hour. It's pretty much over rural areas, but Craig Beach, North Jackson, Lake Milton area is pretty much in this, along with Fredericksburg, Schrader's Corners, and a couple other these little small areas just north of Berlin Center along State Route 534 and 224 there. But here's what we're looking at when we pull up our our velocity value. We're looking at pretty much right over between Palmyra and Diamond right now, right there along State Route 18. We're looking at this rotation right here, moving east at 15 miles per hour. I'm going to jump back and forth from the computer here. My apologies. I also need to adjust one other thing too, because this kind of didn't sneak up on us, but it kind of did. I also want to watch up here just west of Lordstown. I know they're not under a tornado warning here, but this rotation here has been trying to get its act together for about the past 10 minutes. And this is the turnpike right here. And then we have the State Route 5 interchange right there, just to outside of Leavittsburg there. And this is all moving towards Lordstown here, this area, not under a tornado warning, but it has been trying to do something. Going a little bit further, that does get towards Niles Junctions and the city of Niles as well, about over the next about 15 minutes or so. Oh. There we go. Sorry, I had to adjust the light here. Otherwise, this doesn't work. But we do have that, again, we do have that tornado warning in effect for parts of Mahoning and Portage County until 2 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and get back onto that right now here. I do want to focus on that. Overall, the environment isn't exactly the most favorable for tornadic weather, but sometimes when we get these discrete things here, they have a tendency to come together pretty quick and dissipate also just as quickly. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that here. I am unable to monitor the chat in here for some reason. Okay, well, we will we'll get to it later. All right. Oh, there it goes. Okay, great. Now I have the chat up here in case anybody is around. And there we go. Cool. Excellent. Let's put that right there. Perfect. Okay, again, we're monitoring this tornado warning here for portions of southeastern Portage County and northwestern Mahoning County until 2 p.m. It's radar indicated rotation. There's a lot of rain. These particular storms here have a lot of moisture in it, and we do have some frequent lightning as well. And so this isn't going to be something we're probably going to see out the window coming. If there's any rotation here, it's likely wrapped in rain. So keep that in mind. You're not going to see it coming, be able to go take shelter here. You're gonna not see it at all because it's going to be awfully rainy out there. But right now we're still looking at that rotation. We should have an update on this image momentarily. We're still looking at that rotation. Pretty much it's going to be right over Lake Milton, I think, right now. It's right over Diamond right here currently. But I think once we get that radar update, it's pretty much going to be right over about the Lake Milton area there. Momentarily. I know the lake really kind of sits right in here, but that is what we're looking at there. Still monitoring up here towards Lordstown. This isn't anything too crazy. This is broad and weak rotation. There's our update there, and we kind of see we lost our rotation on this cell right there just a little bit. Not really seeing a whole lot. And in this cell we have the greens and we have the reds, and you're kind of doing this, but look how broad it is overall. And we don't have any of that tightening down here around the Lake Milton area, so that's a good sign. I do want to watch that cell up towards Lordstown, just because I don't, at the moment, I don't anticipate them issuing any sort of tornado warning on this particular cell. However, if this does tighten, it wouldn't take too much. It could theoretically start to produce something, whether that's a wall cloud or a funnel cloud, it's hard to say. But we're going to keep an eye on that one closely here while we are monitoring this tornado warning as well. It does go till 2 o'clock. However, I'm not so sure it's gonna last that long. If this rotation continues to dissipate, then we may not see much of this tornado warning lasting for too long. Looks like it's a bit of two cells that had merged previously. So this is all kind of developing here this afternoon, but this was its own cell and this was its own cell earlier, and these have since kind of merged together, and that may have been what caused some of that brief rotation. Up here's our rotation over Lordstown rather, that we were just looking at a moment ago too. So that it's very, very broad. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it. Also just want to keep an eye down here too with this cell that is starting to merge into the other one. You never know when you get these cell mergers exactly what to expect. Most of the time nothing happens. Sometimes you get just the right ingredients together briefly, just long enough that it creates a quick spin up, and then it goes away because the whole cell kind of merges together. So kind of just absorbs it back in with itself. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect outside of that too. I don't want to forget about that. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 1:45 p.m. for southwestern Trumbull, east central Portage, although you guys are pretty much out of it now, in north central Mahoning County. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning right around this tornado warning as well. It had issued that first. That's for southeastern Portage and western Mahoning County till 2 p.m. as well. 60-mile-an-hour winds are certainly possible. In one of them, they did put quarter-size hail. I haven't seen too much in the way of hail here, but it is certainly possible some hail could develop with this cell that is beginning to mature a little bit too. So something to keep an eye on. We also have a flood watch rather in effect for a good portion of northern Ohio that runs until 10 o'clock tonight, and we do have some flood advisories out there too. That run locally from late this afternoon to this evening for the most part, kind of depending on where you're at. So one thing I also want to watch here is this cell right over southern Summit County, and then the cell that's right over Randolph here. So this one was over here earlier, and it's starting to merge with our cell. And you kind of see these little like hook indentations here, and then we have this other one here too. And we did see these kind of briefly try to do something. For the most part, it didn't really pan out to be anything. Again, the environment isn't exactly conducive to tornadic activity, but little spin-ups are certainly possible with a stationary front that's pretty much right overhead. Anything can kind of go here. So these are things we're just going to watch here while we're live too with that tornado warning. Let's go back to that here as well. There's a new radar update, and wow, that one over New Franklin there is it's trying to get its little act together there. We'll come back to that one in just a moment. Let's go back up here towards the Lake Milton area, and yeah, not a ton at all. It's just very, very weak and very, very broad. We kind of got this area of rotation really just kind of right in here. Very, very broad. Still the broad rotation moving into Lordstown now. But again, it's very, very broad. So the whole storm is just kind of slowly rotating a little bit, a rotating updraft. We do see that. That's nothing unusual for storms in our area. And yeah, just there's a little bit of an inflow here going into the backside of the storm. And this one is almost gusting out at this point. So we'll continue to keep eyeing it. But right now, no imminent threat of any sort of tornadic activity, a tornado possibly on the ground or anything like that at the moment. Actually looks fairly disorganized at best. This up here was the one that looked decent earlier before they issued the tornado warning down here. And actually, when the alert came across, I really thought it was for the cell to the north, and then it was that one. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It happened pretty quick, so we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Down towards New Franklin, the green area, we saw that nice look on reflectivity here, and yeah, it's just see, there's just nothing here. Our hook is really right in here, right over Comet there. There's just really nothing there on the velocity value. So it looks really good on reflectivity, but it's just not really producing. Yeah, that's pretty much just east of 93, and we do have another tornado warning. Nope, we have an update on the tornado warning. My bad. Here we go. Tornado warning remains in effect till 2 o'clock. Still radar indicated. Doesn't look like there's been any sort of sighting of anything. Again, it's raining. It is moving east to 15 miles an hour. Craig Beach, North Jackson, pretty much here. So pretty much the Lake Milton area, and also right over Fredericksburg. If you're in Portage County, you guys are in the clear. They have removed that from the tornado warning from your county. So the tornado warning for Portage County is over. It's all now into northwestern Mahoning County, pretty much the Lake Milton area, and then Fredericksburg, and along Route 53 there towards Ellsworth. So if you are north of 224 right now, that's the area you want to watch. Now we do have, and this may just be the way we're tracking things today here, we do have a nice little inflow notch right here. This area where we have the lighter reflectivity values, the greens surrounded by the darker yellows and reds. So this would indicate potential rotation here on our reflectivity product. But let's flip on over to our velocity here real quick and see if we can spot anything that no, not a ton. So here's what we're looking at here. It's trying to get its act together, it looks like now. We kind of see that green. It's trying to wrap in against that red a little bit, but we're not really getting it there. So right now, we don't have that wrapping in on our velocity product right now. But again, we'll just kind of have to keep an eye on it. And sometimes the best way we track things is just with good old reflectivity. Sometimes it doesn't really show up on that velocity product too well, and we end up with reflectivity. You're having a little bit better picture of really what's going on. And yeah, that is definitely something that bears watching for sure. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. We'll stay live throughout at least this tornado warning until it either expires or is canceled, whichever happens first there. They did update the severe thunderstorm warning for Trumbull County. That goes till 1:45, so about another 12 minutes. And they've removed Portage County from that, so you're in the clear on that. It's generally for damaging winds. So Warren, Niles, let's see, Newton Falls, but barely, Lordstown, Leavittsburg, Mineral Ridge, Champion Heights, Howland Center, all in this severe thunderstorm warning there. Mineral Ridge in there as well. And that does extend to cover part of that tornado warning, but just a very northern portion of it. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect until 2 o'clock for northwestern Mahoning County as well. And that pretty much is underneath that tornado warning too, kind of surrounding it, if you will. This is north of Columbiana County, so that is, yeah, you guys aren't going to see that right now. All right, what happened there? That's interesting. There we go. Everything just reset on me for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, so just kind of looking at the radar over towards the green area, and yeah, there's a tiny little bit of we'll call it rotation, but it's not really. It's trying to maybe do something, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's not a very strong storm over there. Looking at the one here right over Fredericksburg, again, we still kind of have this almost, well, that's almost kind of rain-free right there. That's kind of interesting. But we do have inflow here, and stuff is trying to wrap around, but this may actually end up filling in pretty quick. So continue to keep an eye on it. But right now, yeah, I don't see any We're not seeing any of those greens wrapping against those reds too well. So whatever is there is pretty weak at the moment. I do not know why it is doing that. That's weird. I can't answer your question, Layla, why there's so many tornado warnings, but you know, that happens sometimes. So it is the weather. But we've had some interesting setups, I guess, over the spring and early summer here, and sometimes that's just how it is. Other times we have absolutely nothing. Tornado warnings are going off in Youngstown. I'm not really sure why. Youngstown is not under a tornado warning. My guess is that they are setting off warnings, tornado sirens, based on a tornado warning being present in the county, which is why we tell you not to rely on sirens. While I understand that Mahoning County isn't exactly the biggest county, it's also unrealistic that this tornado makes a left turn and heads towards Youngstown. If anything, it's going to continue in its east-southeast track or go more southeasterly, Coriolis effect. Northern Hemisphere, we don't get things that turn left too well. Usually it's a right turn towards the equator. So if Youngstown is setting off sirens because there's a tornado warning issued over here, they are assuming the entire county is under a tornado warning, and they are stuck in the 1990s. They're 30 years behind. So this is why we tell you sirens don't mean anything. I do want to go back over here and look at our velocity product here, and we can kind of see now we're starting to wrap in a little bit. This is 136, and I got to look at this monitor over here. I'm sorry, this is 136 is here. I'm sorry, it's this way, and then this is 53. My bad. So County Road 136 and 53, just to the west of Rosemont there along 65, and that's all heading towards State Route 45, south and north Jackson, and north of Ellsworth. And actually, this looks to pretty much move almost parallel to 136, almost parallel. Just a little update there, and we can kind of see it's a little bit broader this time by. So we may have just had a very brief spin up of something, but very possible that also did not produce. So continue to monitor that, but again, if you're in Youngstown and you're hearing tornado sirens, Youngstown is not under a tornado warning, and I do not anticipate them being under a tornado warning at this time, unless the cell to the north would decide it's going to start doing something. But right now, that does not look to be the case. That may actually have some hail in it right over Lordstown, if not some very heavy rain and some large drops. Yeah, still seeing that. Check that out. Yeah, there's nothing there. I didn't think so. Still kind of seeing this bit of rotation of things kind of wrapping in right over 136 and 53 there. 53? Oh, my bad. Yeah, 53. Okay, I'll get it eventually. One monitor's a little smaller than the other. My apologies here. Sometimes the route numbers don't exactly show up too well, so I'll work on that. But anyway, we'll continue to work on it. So if you're in the path of that along 136 there towards Rosemont, even Ellsworth Station, and then out getting closer towards Canfield there, I would consider taking shelter at this point. Just because we don't exactly know what this does. If it's going to do something, it's going to happen quick, it's going to be brief, and it's going to be done. Again, it's not a very big setup for tornadoes to hit the ground and then we got tons of lead time or anything like that. This rotation is getting a little bit better there, right over Rosemont and 136, and we also have Route 65 there as an interior hallway. Just put as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible. If you are in a mobile home and you're very near this, it's a little too late to get out. If it's not raining yet, you're in a mobile home, I would suggest maybe going somewhere else while you have a chance right now. But otherwise, if it's too late, get in the interior most room, put as many walls and doors between you and the outside of your home as possible, and just sit tight for now. Again, nothing's on the ground, nothing's been confirmed. It's just one of these things where you're better safe than sorry, right? So that's what we want to do. You don't want to be outside during a tornado. If for some reason you're caught and you're in your car or something, they do recommend that you get out of the car, get into a ditch if you can. Don't go under a bridge. Don't don't take shelter under a bridge. Worst thing you can do. That will not do anything for you at all. So just something to keep in mind there. We're not going to have a derecho. We're not talking about anything like that. This is not a big severe weather outbreak or anything like that. So we don't need to take things out of context here by any means. Take a look at our reflectivity product here, and yeah, there's a lot of rain ahead of this, so we don't really quite have that hooking action we had earlier, but our rotation is just right in here right now. Again, you're really not going to see it too much. It's going to be in with that rain, so if there is anything trying to produce, unless it's right along the front edge of it and you got a great view of it for some reason, you're probably not going to see it. So just something to kind of keep in mind. And actually, they just dropped the tornado warning at this time for Mahoning County. So right now, unless it disappeared here, but it looks like they dropped it. Yep, they dropped it. Okay, I'm going to verify that. Just going to verify that real quick. Yes, the tornado warning has been canceled. It was canceled early, by the way. So we have right now a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 2 o'clock for northwestern Mahoning County, and until 1:45 p.m., which is just a couple minutes away, for southwestern Trumbull and north central Mahoning County there. And I would not be surprised if we see a couple of these severe thunderstorm warnings get expanded just a little bit. That is a pretty strong cell, but it may just be borderline below severe levels. So here's a bigger view we're looking at across northeastern Ohio right now. We do have some scattered showers and storms just kind of firing here and there, and this is going to be the case really through the afternoon and evening hours. We got this kind of stalled out boundary just right overhead the area there, so everything's kind of moving along that. We will see additional showers and storms develop late this afternoon, this evening, and in the parts of the overnight hours as well. Don't be surprised Monday morning during your commute to work, in some spots across the state you may run into a few showers as well. Would not be out of the ordinary, but overall shower activity will decrease, and then we also have a potential for additional showers on Monday as well. We do have this flood watch in effect across a good portion of northern Ohio. There's some flood advisories embedded in that as well, so remember, if you do run across a flooded area, turn around, don't drown, never drive through a flooded roadway. We're going to take a quick look here a little bit further to the south. And we do have some showers and storms across southeastern Ohio as well. None of this is severe. So pretty much 77 from Cambridge all the way down to Marietta, seeing on and off showers and storms down towards Athens, and just coming out of the Jackson area there in Vinton County, or Jackson County across Vinton County, that southern little boot tip of Vinton County, excuse me. So we have that, but these are not severe. But some heavy rain, some occasional thunder and lightning are certainly possible. A lot of moisture available in the atmosphere. We are also watching down here. There is a pretty large fire going on the south side of Parkersburg. It is a pretty large warehouse fire, and it's putting a very, very large plume of black smoke into the air, and that's actually extending pretty far. It's actually extending towards West Unity. Not all of this is that. These storms have fired in the area, so we're not really able to see that smoke plume or anything like that. But it could definitely, at the minimum, degrade the air quality in the area. Hopefully it helps with the fire just a little bit there. But there is a shelter-in-place order around that warehouse along the south side of Parkersburg. I know it goes as far east as 77, but I can't remember the exact dimensions offhand right now. That will probably be burning for quite a while. I know this particular warehouse is pretty much... Well, let's see here if I can find it. It's pretty much right here. I believe it's right over in this area here, but I could be wrong on that. It's kind of hard to see with everything on. I don't want to turn the radar off and all that. Just it gets real crazy. I believe it's right over in there. Yeah, so that's it's caused. I know it's causing some issues there for sure. And I'm hoping that rain does help them out just a little bit too. Otherwise, take a look at the radar across the rest of the state of Ohio right now. And we don't really have too much going on. There is some sun out there. It's a mild day across central, southwestern Ohio, low to mid 80s. Some mild dew points, probably yielding some heat index values that are quite warm in spots. But where we do have the rain, it is a little bit cooler, but it will be humid. A couple showers here developing across portions of northwestern Ohio. Again, we'll continue to see those develop on and off here and there through the next... really through the next several hours here. They did just issue a flood advisory, it looks like, for Mahoning County there through 6 p.m. So again, just keep that in mind, all this rain moving through. The severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Mahoning County goes until 2 o'clock. Otherwise, we don't have a whole lot going on, which is great news for us and you guys too. So with that said, we'll wrap up our tornado warning coverage right now. Again, that tornado warning you see scrolling across the bottom has expired. It's been canceled early, so the good news there, no more tornado warning. And again, some of the rotation we did see was very brief and not very strong. That could continue to happen with that cell, but at this point, it's really going to be hard to really do anything with that being more of a linear type of look. So some damaging winds are possible, along with heavy rain and frequent lightning and some of that localized flooding too. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Stay safe. Have a good afternoon.